Ranking the best receivers in Madden 24. We are back here with another tier list update. Today, we're going to be taking a look at receiver. Now, before we get into the new cards real quick, we got to talk about the old tier list. Now, if there's any weekly wildcard receivers that drop this week, we'll be covering those at the end of the video. Let's talk about this base tier list real quick. Now the receivers I'm still going to have in the S tier is Harold Carmichael, Michael Irvin, Darius Hayward-Bay. Given the cards we have today, everyone else is going to drop down a tier. Now, the reason Carmichael's still here, 6'8", tallest receiver in the game. He's like a one of one, right? Michael Irvin can get that jukebox and that yak him up. Same thing with Darius Hayward-Bay, this time just evasive. Irvin can also get wide receiver apprentice. Hayward-Bay was kind of the one I was most iffy on, but yeah, we're gonna move everyone down a singular tier. And now this is what the tier list is looking like before we get into the new cards. All right, now first things first, we get some lower overall Ring of Honor cards I was debating on even covering. Now, when you put Roddy White with Michael Vick, he does actually get pretty decent speed and he hits all the route running thresholds still. But for me, the reason why I would be lower on this card and the next card is because you can't take off these abilities like Energizer, Runoff Elite, Route Tech, Deep Out Elite, Red Zone Threat, Jukebox for 4 AP. It's just a little bit much, right? Like say for instance, we could take off like Red Zone Threat, Deep Out Elite, and say we got what's called Route Tech, Jukebox for 2 AP, or just Route Tech for 1. That would be a pretty solid card, but for me, he's going to be in the F tier. And really the same thing with Musa Muhammad right here too. Again, same exact thing. This time you boost him with Devin Hester. And he can get pretty decent speed, decent height as well. But again, ability wise, wide receiver apprentice, Red Zone Threat, Route Tech, Deep Out, Jukebox, Tank for 4 AP. It's just a little bit too much AP at this point. And yeah, he's going to be F tier for me. Now also right here, we're going to take a look at the login reward Tyler Lockett. That starts out at a 91. And by doing your solos and just advancing in the field pass, can get him to a 98 overall with 98 speed, 98 acceleration. He is 5'10", a little bit shorter. But here's the thing too, that I do want to talk about. Shorter receivers, they do have an argument for being better than the tall players. The reason why I'm saying that is just like thinking logically, right? Like the smaller player models should do a better job of avoiding zone KOs. Also, they get pretty good possession catch animations as well. And also when we look at his abilities, gets grab and go for 0 AP. I think he's a pretty solid receiver. For me, Tyler Lockett, I would put him in this, in this B tier. And also like, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and like the team of the year guys are like top in this tier for me, by the way. But yeah, I think he's a pretty solid card in this C tier. Okay receiver in the game, really good budget option. I just would prefer some of the abilities we get in C tier. And me personally, I like the taller receivers. I could also see a world where you combine C and D, and this is just one big tier of receiver. But now after that, we do get Jerry Jeudy with 97 speed, 99 acceleration, 6'1", great route runnings across the board. Like this is a great card from a stat standpoint and even decent height as well. But the thing that the knock on him is no abilities, or no discounted abilities, which at this point, like why spend like 141K on him? You know, I would rather run Deion Sanders from Zero Chill over him with that yak him up. I would rather run Alec Pierce with Jukebox. Yeah, for me, he's just gonna make the F tier. He's kind of just by Jameson Williams for me. Actually, a really good base card, just doesn't get discounted abilities. And now after that, we go back-to-back Ring of Honor players. First one we got is Andre Johnson with that 6'3" height, 98 speed, 97 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running, and even a pretty decent run blocker as well with 80 and 91 impact blocking for his abilities this time. Gets run off elite for 0. He just really isn't great from an ability standpoint, and that's the big knock. Like route tech for 1 isn't bad. Andre Johnson for me would, honestly, I could even see him D just because his abilities aren't really good. I mean, he gets a 0 AP run off elite. I can slightly put him C tier because I'd rather run him than Tyreek Hill because I am a fan of the taller receivers. Tough one though. I could see C or D for Andre Johnson. Now after that, we got Brian Finneran. Again, he's 6'5", 97 speed, 95 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. This time he does have decent impact blocking. Now when we look at his abilities, he gets red zone threat for 0. He is 6'5" though, so he's 2 inches taller than Andre Johnson as well. He's kind of just like Mike Evans. Yeah, I'm gonna put him on the Mike Evans tier. He's a really tall receiver. Ooh, Mike Evans from an ability standpoint though does get the matchup nightmare for 0. I think you could definitely say Brian Finneran is, I could see either or in my opinion, but he is 6'5", so I'll slightly lean B. And now after that, we got Randy Moss with 99 speed, 97 acceleration. He is 6'4", 90s across the board for out running. 70 isn't crazy, but I mean, that's actually not that bad. When we look at his abilities though, 2 of the 0 AP ones, gets jukebox and wide receiver apprentice. That jukebox is huge. Again, 6'4". The taller you are, the crazier your juke moves are too. And he can also get that Moss UL X Factor, which is kind of a little bit like double me at times where it can insta beat the man press. But for Randy Moss Moss for me for sure is making this S tier, and I would probably say out the bunch, he is the best receiver. That jukebox with that height is just crazy. And now right after that, we get Cooper Kupp with 98 speed, 96 acceleration, 6'2" height, 90s across the board for out running, and abilities. Again, gets 2-0 AP, 1's human joystick and jukebox. Now, this right here is a really, really good receiver. Also, the short elite I think is slept on. The issue with this card is he's similar to Jay Jettas and also Julio Jones. He gets that head fake animation, which just kind of makes him run routes a little bit longer. I'm putting him right by Julio and Justin Jefferson. Again, I really like his abilities. If he didn't have that head fake animation, he would be A tier for me, but that head fake animation is just so annoying. I'm going to put him in the B tier. Right after that, we get Courtland Sutton with 97 speed, 99 acceleration. This time he is 6'3". When we look at his abilities this time, he can get third down threat and red zone threat for 0. So like, that's not bad. It's not really like insane abilities. I think he's another pretty solid receiver, decent height as well. I'm going to put him in the B tier as well. All right, now for the rest of the video, we got all 99 overalls. First one is Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, with 99 speed, 97 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. X factor wise, can get that yak him up, so gets one of the best X factors in the game. Also from an ability standpoint, can get evasive for 0 AP, run off elite for 0, and also red zone threat for 0. I think wherever you have Darius Hayward-Bay, you need to have Terry McLaurin, which right now is an S tier receiver. Again, I'm the most iffy on Darius Hayward-Bay and Scary Terry now in this tier. I like Michael Irvin more than them because he can also get that wide receiver apprentice, which you could have all three of these guys on the same level too. They may drop into A for me. They might. But now right after that, we got Hines Ward with 98 speed, 97 acceleration. One of the most slept on things about Hines Ward is he's one of the best, if not the best, run blocking receiver in the game. And also this time when we look at X Factor, can get the yak him up, which is nice. Also ability wise, mid and elite for 0 and potentially armbar for 0. I have pretty similar thoughts to him and Andre Reed. I think they're both really, really great cards. Hines Ward for me isn't an S tier caliber player, but he's definitely top into this A tier, man. Hines Ward is very, very, very good. We also get Devin Hester with 99 speed, 99 acceleration. He is 5'11", and again has pretty good impact blocking, which helps in the run game. Now we look at his X factor, can get the yak him up combine one. That is Darius Hayward-Bay's X factor. Gets built on return man, energizer for 0 AP. And for just his base abilities this time, gets playmaker for 0, mid and elite for 0. And I don't think this card is bad by any means. I think Darius Hayward-Bay is better because he gets like the evasive built on as like a 0 AP ability. So for me, Devin Hester is going to be in this A tier, and I don't think he's bad by any means. I just wish he, like, I don't understand why he wouldn't get like the evasive or the jukebox for 0 AP. That was something that I thought was really questionable. If he did, he'd easily be in this S tier for sure. Now after that, we got Tank Dell with 98 speed, 97 acceleration, 5'10" height, 90s across the board for out running. This time, not too much of a run blocker, of course, but ability wise is actually pretty interesting. So he does get evasive for 0 AP. He also can get to deep elite for 0. Now this is a card that I do think is really, really good. The reason for me why he's not going to make S tier, just some of the other cards we have that get the evasive, but also they get that like yak 'em up X factor. So for me, Tank Dell is again going to be someone that's like top into this A tier. Now, I don't think he's a bad card by any means. He's narrowly outside of the like S tier for me. I think he's a really good card, good double 0 AP ability receiver. So after that, we also get Stephon Diggs with 98 speed, 94 acceleration. He can go ahead and get that route tech for 0 AP, also gets deep elite for 0. Doesn't get the evasive for 0, but I mean, Stephon Diggs is a beast, man. This card is otherworldly good. This card is so good, man. And the reason why route tech at this point is just really, really nice to have is a lot of like defenses right now, they'll do like random, it's not really random man-ups, but to take away corner routes, they might do like a bracket style of coverage where, say for instance, it's a cover 3, the outside third is going to guard like the pull route, the streak. You're going to have a hard flat that guards like the other pull route that would pull other zones. That would be like a running back table, something like that. And then they could man up and shade outside your corner route. That's a pretty effective way to take away corners. And Stephon Diggs, if they don't have one step ahead or also inside shade, he is going to fry that, or universal coverage. So I just think it's really nice to have versus a lot of these dudes that just don't have those abilities. And now after that, we got Larry Fitzgerald with 98 speed, 97 acceleration, 6'3" height, and also good impact blocking for the run game. Ability wise, third down threat for 0. This was why I complained about these cards too when they dropped. The 99s we just covered, they were like all like insane, right? Larry Fitz, third down threat for 0. I could maybe do B tier, and I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. Third down threat for 0 just really, I'll slightly put him B. And also we get Garrett Wilson with 98 speed, 98 acceleration, and this time time for his abilities, he gets third down threat for 0. I'm gonna put him and Larry Fitz right by each other. Whatever you like, you probably have very similar thoughts to both these cards. I might put both of them C. Yeah, the abilities just aren't there. And if you want to run a no ability receiver, we have Brian Finneran that's 6'5". Tall player's a little bit more harder to come by too, so I'll slightly put Brian Finneran in this B tier and Larry Fitz and Garrett Wilson in C. And now right after that, we got Calvin Johnson with 99 speed, 98 acceleration, 6'5" height. Now this is a card that some people were saying he gets the head fake animation. I use this card, did not notice it. I don't believe he does. I could be wrong on that, but I don't believe he does. 88 run block, 84 impact blocking as well. So really good in the run game as well. And his abilities are kind of insane. Red zone threat for 0, but also gets that jukebox and deep elite combo for 0. So like we said earlier, the taller players' jukes are crazy. I think Calvin would be overtake Randy Moss for me for wide receiver 1 right now. And right after that, we do got Jalen Waddle with 99 speed, 99 acceleration, 90s across the board for route running. This time for his abilities, he can get the yak him up X factor, which is crazy. Gets that jukebox ability for 0 AP. So yak him up and jukebox. And also when we look at his just base discounts, gets human joystick as well and 0 AP wide receiver apprentice. This is what we're gonna do. Waddle is gonna be right here for me, and it's gonna make me drop Irvin over. So also Diggs is my favorite one in A. The reason why Diggs drop is because I think Tyreek Hill is better Stephon Diggs, and he's also cheaper. He is 5'9", but again, we talked about the shorter receivers earlier. There actually is some benefit to him. 99 speed, 99 acceleration, has 99 beat press as well, literally like 99 everything. And also his abilities, this right here is an end game card. So X Factor gets a crazy one, gets the yak him up, which is probably the best receiver X Factor, gets built on route tech for 0 AP. So like we said with Stephon Diggs, really gonna be good at defeating those random man ups. And also from just a base ability standpoint, gets the jukebox for 0 AP, which is the best after catch ability comboed with yak him up and also human joystick. For me, Tyreek Hill, this is not trying to be Fenn's bias, but Tyreek Hill for me is a wide receiver 1. I also will bump up Stephon Diggs because the 0 AP route tech is just, you don't really see that a lot. And I think Jalen Waddle is an upgrade over Michael Irvin with that jukebox wide receiver apprentice and a human joystick and yak him up as well. I think Tyreek Hill is an upgrade over like Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin. So yeah, I like the way the list is looking, and that's not even talking about the boost they can give your entire team as well. I think they add so much value. But yeah, boys, this has been my thoughts on the receiver position in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Who do you think should go up? Who do you think should come down? And if you guys did enjoy this video though, you enjoy content like this, want to stay up to date with the best cards in Madden 24, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, I do want to say as well, receiver is one of the deepest positions in the game. So even people in like D tier, like Tyreek Hill, this Tyreek Hill is 99 speed and he's in D tier because his abilities I just don't really like. There are still a ton of usable, runnable receivers in this game, especially with the zone knockout meta. Like you can, on a Broncos team or whatever, you can use Jerry Jeudy and be like, fine. You know, it's not like the end of the world. Like he can avoid zone KOs. It's just like how good the receiver position is in this game. That's just why the list is looking like how it's looking for me. But I hope you guys did enjoy, man. If you did, and you do want to go ahead and see me use some of these cards live, I stream every single day, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. To watch on the YouTube side of things, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here because I actually used Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and they were absolutely ridiculous.